Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey, who is presently away from the microphone, but he'll be back momentarily. And the Lord of Pennies, Satsu 2 cents.
What up, Dad?
And I'm your host, Scribe Light, the Lord of Punishment. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Hope you're having or have had, I guess I should say, a good week. It is Friday, thankfully. And before we begin, Point Curation, thank you so much. Point says, thanks for everything, Scribe. I'm not quite sure what everything entails, but you are welcome. And thank you. So while we wait for Monkey to reappear, how are you, Satsu?
I'm good. I cooked something interesting today.
Oh, was it meth?
No.
Oh.
No. Squishy has been trying to go back to what we assume is her roots. We still haven't figured out yet. But she wanted me to make some empanadillas or whatever. How do you pronounce it?
I don't know what you're talking about, so I don't.
They're like empanadas, but different. What is the difference?
I don't know what an empanada is, so I'm just like, I'm a dumb white person. What do I know?
I don't know. Well, I made them and they were delicious.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I was going to record it, but it is almost impossible to do that anymore. Like I've been trying to, so I can put more cooking videos up, and it's just not. It's not happening. I need to move.
Joys of Sorrow says empanaditas.
Empanadillas, yeah, empanadillas. That's what they're called.
Oh, okay. I still don't know what those are.
Look it up.
You also have become a comic book superhero today.
Yes, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was a really cool cover.
Yeah,
it took me a minute to understand that the eyes in the yin yang were actually pennies. It took me.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I didn't realize it with the sketch.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today, and when I was a kid, a friend of mine and I came up with all these different comic book characters. We thought how cool it would be if one day one of our characters became their own comic book and everything. So the cover that Grisella made with the Scribe Light character is it makes me so happy. It just makes me so happy. And honestly, I got to thank Knight of Charlemagne for, creating the avatar based on that painting that led to that comic book cover, because just makes me so happy inside. And now we have a monkey back. Hello, Monkey.
Hey guys, what did I miss?
Well, I introduced you.
Oh, hello.
As usual, and you weren't here, so I said you'd be back. Then Satsu told us how he was, and now it's your turn. How are you?
I'm wonderful. You know what you should have done, and I meant to talk to you about this before the stream.
Uh-oh.
You should have muted Satsu like from the beginning.
Why would you want me to silence a black person, Monkey?
Because he did it to us yesterday.
My mouse did it to you.
Yeah, that was unintentional, Monkey. That was unintentional.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I can never silence is my love for Dr. Pepper.
I wish you would.
The sweet, sweet taste of Dr. Pepper, made from a prune to enjoy on the moon.
Oh my God.
And that whole prune thing is actually an urban legend, but I still like the idea that it's the
true. Yeah, my mom called it carbonated prune juice.
Yeah, that was always the notion, but it's not.
I actually like Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, it's good. So Monkey Dick, Jim Jones movies. Hit that like button if you have not already, and share our stuff. I know that Satsu's posted a couple of 7 Days to Die deals today or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of video game stuff, I think for the first time in the modern era, pre-ordered a video game.
Oh, pre-order Fallout?
Yeah, I pre-ordered the middle tier one that comes with a whole bunch of in-game stuffs, just for the hell of it. I didn't go for the super duper helmet version because I couldn't really care less about a lot of that stuff, and it would just end up taking up space in my apartment. So,
yeah, like I said, I want the map. I don't care about the helmet.
Yeah,
If
I mean,
got
if I
the helmet,
well,
I'd
you
eBay that bitch.
yeah, you can find them. The map will be online. Someone will scan it and it'll just be there, whatever. If you go to what is it? I think it's Fallout4map.com or something. Someone has made an entirely interactive map of the Fallout 4 world, and with all these pip markers for every item, location, and you can filter out which ones you don't want to see. It's really extensive and great. Thank you, Claire, for Satsu blaming his mouse for silencing Monkey and Scribe is like Lee Harvey Oswald blaming his gun for killing JFK. Wow. Now that is an analogy right there.
Well, unless he killed JFK because he had a faulty trigger and put his finger on it and it snapped anyway because it was broken, then I don't know how that analogy works. But
that's why there were 3 shots instead of just 2.
Yeah, his trigger was fucked up.
No, Stunlock says, but it won't glow in the fucking dark, Scribe. And
exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, that's true. I won't have a glow in the dark Fallout 76 map to hang on my wall. And yeah, I'll just have to survive. I don't know.
I do really need a new mouse, like seriously, because it's fucking with the games that I play now. And it also fucked up one of my uploads the other day because I was clicking something and I clicked. I don't know, like I was trying to click a tab up there and it clicked like 3 times and closed like 2 tabs. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, Satsu's mouse is possessed. Let's get into the schnuzz, unless there's anything else we need to cover ahead of time.
Nothing that I can think of.
All right. Well, let's see. As the clever title of the stream might indicate, judge sends Paul Manafort to jail pending trial. Ooh. Former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort will await his trial for foreign lobbying charges from jail. 2 weeks after Robert Mueller's prosecutors dropped new accusations of witness tampering on him, U.S. District Judge Amy Berman Jackson Friday revoked Manafort's bail, which allowed him out on house arrest. The order marks an end to months of attempts for Manafort to lighten his house arrest restrictions after he was charged and pleaded not guilty to foreign lobbying violations. Quote, the harm in this case is harm to the administration of justice and harm to the integrity of the court's system, Berman Jackson told Manafort in court. It's weird that there's not a hyphen in that last name. Berman Jackson, okay. The judge emphasized to Manafort how she could not make enough rulings to keep him from speaking improperly with witnesses after he had used multiple text messaging apps and called a potential witness on an Italian cell phone. Jesus.
What the fuck is he thinking?
Thank you, Terry DeMontis. Scribe is distracted. Everyone spam $2 super chats. Oh, yes, that'll make me feel great. I'll miss all the super chats. Yeah. I'll just have to scroll up. I mean, that's like the worst thing to complain about, though.
Yeah, I get you.
I mean, that's sort of like that was a trap. Thanks, Terry. Let's see.
Trap.
Quote, this is not middle school. I can't take his cell phone, she said of Manafort. I thought about this long and hard, Mr. Manafort. I have no appetite for this. Manafort also entered a not guilty plea to 2 additional charges levied against him last week for witness tampering and conspiracy to obstruct justice. In total, Manafort faces 7 criminal charges in D.C. federal court. Excuse me. 3 U.S. Marshals led Manafort out of the courtroom into the prisoner holding area immediately after the judge's ruling. He was not placed in handcuffs. Before he disappeared through the door, he turned towards his wife and supporters and gave a stilted wave. Minutes later, a marshal returned to give his wife, Kathleen, still standing in the courtroom's front row, Manafort's wallet, belt, and the burgundy tie he wore Friday, because we don't want him to go hang himself, I guess.
Yeah.
In a tweet, Trump said the decision to revoke Manafort's bail is tough, although he referred to it as a sentence. Well, okay. And let's see. He was out on $10 million bail, but of course that was revoked. And they just kind of go through the previous stuff of the case. And this all deals with stuff that happened prior to the Trump campaign.
Yes.
So, again, I mean, if he's committed crimes and everything, hey, prosecute everything else. We're still waiting for that elusive proof that the whole investigation that found Manafort's misdoings, I guess, whatever, wrongdoings, to actually come up with something that they were out there to get in the first place.
Oh my god.
Hmm.
What?
What?
Okay, so you guys, did you watch the Sony press conference for the E3?
No.
Well, they announced this game that's it's like some samurai game or something like that. And this dude came out and played the bamboo flute and was a fucking beast at it. Apparently, he's like one of the few monsters. He's like one of the few masters in the world, like for like the bamboo flute. Like he's really good. But he wasn't Japanese, so people are upset because they're like, how the fuck could Sony think they can get away with cultural appropriation so blatant? And nobody was going to say anything about it.
Sony, a Japanese company, is guilty of cultural appropriation by having a non-Japanese person play a bamboo flute. Okay.
Yeah.
When we all know the only real master of the flute is Zamfir, master of the pan flute. Remember Zamfir, Monkey?
I knew some chicks in high school who were pretty good on the skin flute.
Hi-oh!
Degenerate as usual.
If anybody in chat knows who I'm talking about, Zamfir, then
I remember him.
You watched too much TV as a kid, just like me. Let's see, what else do we have? Well, we had a not so good story in the general sense of things today. One deputy killed, another in critical condition in Kansas City, Kansas. One sheriff's deputy is dead and another is in critical condition after they were shot Friday during a prisoner transport in Kansas City, Kansas. The two Wyandotte, I don't know how to say that, Wyandotte County deputies were transporting inmates to court around 11:30 a.m. When they pulled into a parking lot outside the county courthouse, the deputies were overcome. Quote, "It is very possible that with their own firearms, they were both shot," she said.
Oh, man.
Police identified the slain deputy as Patrick Rohrer, 35, a 7-year veteran. Kansas City, Kansas police have taken over the investigation. Both deputies were taken to the University of Kansas Health System, where one of the deputies succumbed to his injuries. The suspect is in the operating room at the same hospital. The surviving deputy, a female, remains in critical condition. So one of the people they were transporting, I'm assuming, grabbed their gun and shot them.
Sounds like.
That sucks. Yeah, so I'm glad they caught the guy. I hope he lives to face his punishment. Otherwise, yeah. And now I had heard that this was at a juvenile facility.
Oh man, that make it even. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh wait, maybe they addressed that. A spokesman for the Wyandotte County, Edwin Birch, previously told CNN the shooting occurred inside the court services building and that a juvenile had also been shot. But they don't say that that was incorrect. Okay, so we don't know.
We were previously told this, but we're not going to tell you if that's right or wrong.
Right, yeah. I previously told her that may or may not be. Wyandotte, Scribe Light says Stargazer nuts. Okay, Wyandotte. I don't know. I different things have different pronunciations. Just
they need to write all this shit in English.
Or just phonetically, something.
I'm back.
Were you gone?
Yeah, I had to turn down the fan. The squishy had it on high.
I missed you.
I missed you too, buddy.
You should have turned down for what?
Monkey, I made some, damn it, I forgot how to pronounce it. Empanadillas, which are small empanadas today, and they were delicious.
That's who's cooking again. I made grilled cheese.
I had a TV dinner last night with the potatoes, chicken, corn, and brownie.
Those brownies are never good.
Oh, I always like the brownies.
They're nasty.
No matter how properly you microwave them, they always taste burnt.
No. Oven. You never microwave this shit.
They still taste like crap in that.
No. If you oven bake that stuff, the brownie tastes good. If it's Hungry Man, I don't know about any other brand. Hungry Man ones, they're good.
Okay.
This is how you can tell you're talking to a bachelor.
Yeah, and there's no secret.
Just throwing that out there.
Let's see. I got two more stories here. So this one caught my eye only because I remember before what has happened to this lady in the last 24 hours, reading about her a couple of years ago and how she was all, this wunderkind, this insta billionaire female CEO, college dropout, phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I remember, I know this might sound like reverse engineering or retroactive sort of wisdom or something. I remember watching or it's one of those times where you pull up a news story and a video starts playing even though you don't want it to. I remember watching some clip of her talking at some conference about her company. And I distinctly remember getting the sensation listening to her. And she has a really weirdly deep voice. She looks like, a petite, like sort of, girl, but she has this mannish voice. I remember when she was talking, I just kept picking up hints of like bullshittery, just like big words for the sake of big words, talking about business and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, I didn't think much of it other than, okay, well, this lady's just another sort of corporate, automaton or whatever. But anyway, moving on to the story itself. Elizabeth Holmes indicted on wire fraud charges and steps down from Theranos. Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes has been indicted on federal wire fraud charges, the Office of the United States Attorney for the Northern District of California announced Friday. Holmes and former Theranos COO and President Ramesh Sunny Balwani allegedly engaged in a multi-million-dollar scheme to defraud investors, as well as a scheme to defraud doctors and patients, according to a release from the U.S. Attorney's Office. Holmes and Balwani are charged with 2 counts of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 9 counts of wire fraud. The indictments happened Thursday and were unsealed on Friday. If convicted, they each face a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison and a fine of $250,000, plus restitution for each count of wire fraud and each conspiracy count. Holmes and Balwani were accused of knowingly misrepresenting the capabilities of Theranos' proprietary blood testing technology. The two allegedly knew they were, quote, accuracy and reliability problems, and that it, quote, could not compete with existing, more conventional machines. Minutes before the charges were made public, Theranos announced that Holmes had stepped down as CEO. The company's general counsel, David Taylor, will take over as CEO. Holmes will stay on as chair of the company's board. Which
seems weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, because that is really odd. Theranos was once valued at as much as $9 billion. I think that was the story that I read, is that this company came out of the blue and just suddenly like jumped up in value like overnight kind of thing.
Yeah, because and it's why she became a quote unquote billionaire.
Yeah, on paper billionaire.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, James Colley. There's good news and bad news. The bad news is there is no good news. The good news is there is no bad news. Edited by Chris Eliza. Well, I think you meant Siliza, but that's fine. Thank you, James. Let's see. Holmes was once lauded as the youngest self-made female billionaire, but her net worth was revised down to nothing after Wall Street Journal investigative reporter John Carreyrou started digging into the technology behind her blood testing startup. Carreyrou's first expose on the company ran in October 2015, and Theranos voided 2 years of its blood tests just 7 months later. In March, the SEC announced massive fraud charges of $700 million against Theranos, Holmes, and Balwani. The SEC said Theranos, Holmes, and Balwani misled partners and investors about the company's technology, misrepresented revenue projections, and falsely claimed it didn't need regulatory approval for testing its technology. Yeah. Blood testing doesn't need regulatory approval by the FDA. Sure, it doesn't.
Well, her company supposedly could take really small samples of blood and find out all kinds of things ailing you.
Right.
Which would have great applications if that was true.
It's kind of like a reverse snake oil.
Yeah.
It's like, this won't cure your things. It'll tell you what you have.
That is like the fastest MC Hammer ever.
Yeah, it really is. Because she went literally from a billionaire to nothing overnight. And actually, it's worse than that because she owes her company $25 million.
Let's see, what was it now? I posted a couple of screenshots because like I said, when the story came out, I remembered seeing that story about her being like this young billionaire.
Sure.
And so the story that broke that basically exposed her company as essentially a fraud came out in October 2015. And this article that I remember seeing came out in July of 2015. And it said, a look inside the insanely successful life of Elizabeth Holmes, the world's youngest self-made female billionaire. And now she's, And strangely enough, I found this out, although you can't find it on the official website anymore, she has a TED Talk.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
I found a copy of it. I don't know if I'll do a video on it. I have to look at it first, but if there's anything worth sort of backwards, backwards sort of like comparing reality to claim, I might do something brief on it. So we'll see. And lastly, also in the realm of sort of fraud, but this is a weird story because you think you'd double check, but maybe not. Anyway, with that said, she faked a rejection letter from her ex-boyfriend's dreams. Hello?
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Okay.
Satsu's breaking shit.
That's not me. That's Squishy behind me.
All right. She faked a rejection letter from her ex-boyfriend's dream school. Now she has to pay him $265,000.
Oh, I just read that.
Does she have $265,000?
Dunno. Eric Abramovitz's hard work had paid off. The accomplished clarinet player had been accepted to his dream school, but he never got to hear the good news. That's because when his acceptance email arrived in 2014, email? They don't say, okay. Abramovitz's then girlfriend, Jennifer Lee, deleted it and sent him a fake rejection email from the school. It was a $265,000 mistake. Quote,
mistake?
Yeah, that's not a mistake. That deleting something and writing a letter, that's about as intentional as you can get.
Yeah, but she had a vagina, so it was a mistake.
Quote, it was really devastating to feel that incredible betrayal, Abramovitz told CNN. It made me think of our whole relationship, and it made me feel like everything might have been a lie, you think? But here's the thing. A prestigious school sends an email and not like a letter? I thought...
Everything's email these days, bud.
Is it? Okay. Where it began. A college sophomore studying music at McGill University at the time, Abramovitz had applied to a 2-year full scholarship program to finish his bachelor's degree at Colburn Conservatory of Music in Los Angeles. Itching to study with a renowned clarinet teacher, Abramovitz spent many late nights in practice rooms to prepare for his audition, which he thought went well. The full scholarship, which includes tuition, room, and board, is worth about $50,000 a year, and Abramovitz said graduating from Colburn would have set him up for a high-paying symphony career. When he was rejected, Abramovitz said he was crushed. It was a disappointing feeling, Abramovitz said. I had such high hopes. He would have studied under Yehuda Gilad, who is considered one of the best clarinet instructors in the world. Gilad accepts only 2 new students each year at Colburn, and Abramovitz was one of them. Oh,
holy shit! I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, that
what
sucks.
a bitch.
How she covered her tracks. This Wednesday, a Canadian court ruled that Abramovitz's ex-girlfriend owed him more than $265,000, or 350,000 Canadian dollars, for damages including loss of reputation, educational opportunity, and 2 years of potential income. Roughly $37,000 US of that final amount was added on by the judge for Lee's despicable interference in his career. To convince Abramovitz that Colburn had rejected him, his girlfriend posed as Abramovitz and replied to the school's acceptance email, writing that he would not accept the scholarship because he planned to, quote, be elsewhere. Then she deleted the acceptance email from his inbox. Judge Lee went one step further. Sorry, not Judge Lee. Okay, Lee, I misread that. Lee went one step further, creating a fake email address for Yehuda Gilad, the instructor. Holy shit. And sending Abramovitz a rejection email that offered him a spot at the University of Southern California with a $5,000 scholarship instead. Tuition at USC is more than $50,000, a price Abramovitz said his girlfriend would have known he could not afford. Quote, it still puzzles me why she even added that, Abramovitz said. She knew it wouldn't be realistic, so I had to turn that down even though it wasn't real. Defeated, Abramovitz completed his studies at McGill. He and Lee broke up a few months later for unrelated reasons.
How do you find out the bitch did it?
Well, here we go. Fast forward 2 years to 2016, when Abramovitz auditioned for a graduate program at USC, where Gilad also teaches. Abramovitz still had no idea his rejection from Colburn was fake. Each man thought they had been rejected by the other. Abramovitz described a confusing scene at his USC audition in which Gilad asked why he was there because he had rejected Colburn, and in turn, his instruction. With all due respect, I believe you rejected me, Abramovitz told Gilad. He said Gilad repeated that it had been the other way around. Abramovitz figured Gilad was confusing him with another student. It wasn't until Abramovitz's classmates asked why he had rejected the Colburn offer that he began to think something was fishy. He went back through his emails and forwarded the rejection he had received in 2014 to Gilad, who said he had never written it. Quote, I knew I'd been had, but I was still far from knowing by who, Abramovitz said. His friends became involved in the case and suggested his ex-girlfriend might have played a role. Quote, it was scary to even confront that thought given how much I trusted her, but over time it started to sink in and I became more and more suspicious that maybe she had done it, as unpleasant as it was to imagine, he said. Abramovitz tested some of his ex's old passwords to sign into the account that sent the rejection email 2 years earlier, and that's when the pieces started coming together. The account's recovery information was his girlfriend's email and phone number. Quote, it was a simultaneous stab to the back and the heart, Abramovitz said. It really was the last person I would have wanted to find out it was. When served with the initial lawsuit, Lee, the girlfriend, did not respond to Abramovitz's lawyers, so she lost by default. Under Canadian law, a defendant in default, quote, is deemed to admit the truth of all allegations of fact. Let's see. Today, Abramovitz has a new girlfriend. Quote, we are coming up on 2 years soon and it is a really healthy relationship with trust and honesty. I'd like to think my judgment of character has improved a little bit. He's also found success in his professional life. He won a position with the Nashville Symphony Orchestra and was recently appointed the associate principal clarinetist of the Toronto Symphony Orchestra. Abramovitz says he doesn't harbor any ill feelings towards his former girlfriend and hopes she can learn. I hope she can learn from the experience and live a more honest life. Well, he is Canadian.
True, but so was she.
Well, here's the thing, man. As genuine as this dude seems, like forgiving her after all that or whatever, he must have really been treating her ass good because she really did not want him to leave her ass. Because that's why she did it, right? She said she thought he was going to leave, like, and she wasn't going to be able to be with him or something once he accepted it. So he must have been treating her ass real good because, not that that's justify it, but Jesus, fuck, man. That dude's too nice for his own good.
Yeah.
The dangers of being Canadian, I suppose.
She's not facing, like, any jail time for this shit?
No, I guess it's a civil suit more than it's a criminal suit. I'd say it was wire fraud myself.
Jesus
or some kind, but yeah, that's just fucked up.
Yeesh.
Anyway, yeah. So those are all these stories that I had collected for the day. Do you guys have anything else?
No, the only one I wanted to talk about was the one you already did with the chick who fucked up her company by lying about what she could do.
It reminded me a lot of like Enron after a fashion.
Yeah, which is funny because she ain't gonna face no charges like the Enron guys did.
Yeah,
nobody's gonna be screaming about her in the news.
Anything from you, Satsu?
Satsu,
What's that?
News stories?
Oh no, I don't have any.
All right. Well, guys, if you have news stories you'd like us to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSSNews. Can't promise we'll get to them all, but we'll look at as many as we can. And is that a picture of a real person? I guess it must be.
You tell us.
Yeah. This I'm gonna post this link in the chat because this has to be seen to be believed. I thought. This is a human Muppet. And I have no hesitation in insulting this person because you'll see why momentarily. Link is in the chat. This story comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. A convicted sex offender was arrested in Arkansas last week for allegedly possessing child pornography, police said. Joshua Glenn Box of Fayetteville was indicted by a federal grand jury on June 5th on, quote, 4 counts of receiving material involving the sexual exploitation of a minor and 1 count of possessing material involving the sexual exploitation of a minor, with the victim being younger than 12. He was booked into the Washington County Jail on June 7th. In May, the Washington County Sheriff's Office published a notice on its Facebook page informing citizens that Box, a level 2 sex offender, had moved into the area. He was not wanted by police at the time. I really want them to tell me why he looks the way he does. And they really don't say. Did you take a look at this picture?
I haven't pulled it up yet.
I'm amazed this story does not at least describe why he looks like that.
Oh, why doesn't he have nostrils?
He doesn't have nostrils. He doesn't have basically distinguished lips. His entire lower face is basically just burned away. I'm assuming it's some kind of burn injury.
Looks like some prison justice right there.
Authorities have not revealed what caused his facial injuries. Okay, well, I'm curious as hell. Let's see. Scrappy says he tried to blow his own head off.
Oh.
Where'd you get that info? I'm curious. I mean, maybe you got somewhere else, but I mean, that might explain it. Yeah. So there you go. That was really weird. Let's see. What else do we have here? Okay, this one comes from Jim Heelis. House votes to ban shipments of child sex robots.
All right.
The House of Representatives voted Wednesday to ban the importation and transportation of sex robots and dolls that look like children, a move that would bring the U.S. in line with similar policies in Australia and the UK. The Curbing Realistic Exploitative Electronic Pedophilic Robots Act, or Creeper Act, was passed unanimously in the House by a voice vote. It defines child sex doll as, quote, an anatomically correct doll, mannequin, or robot with the features of, or with features that resemble those of, a minor intended for use in sexual acts. Representative Dan Donovan of New York said the move was important as such robots can be a gateway for abusers to move into abusing children. Quote, right now, a few clicks on a computer can allow a predator to order a vile child sex doll. This is not only disturbing, but also endangers the most innocent among us. Once an abuser tires of practicing on a doll, it's a small step to move on to a child. This is the world we live in now. I'm just
not
like
necessarily true, I would think.
I don't know one way or the other. I just the fact that we're discussing child sex dolls at all, just like we're in the future.
Yeah, and I get you, but I would much rather a pedo fuck a doll than a child. And if that will help stop them, then I have no problem with them buying one. I mean, it's disgusting to me, but putting your dick in plastic is better than putting your dick in a child. The fuck are they thinking?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they don't have any, if they have those urges and they have something to suppress them, then I feel like that's more good than bad. Yeah, I don't know.
Thank you, Snubberth. MILFs all the way. Say no to pedo bears.
Pedo bears.
Yeah.
Speaking of exploiting children, I was talking to somebody on Twitter earlier, and he was that post that I put up about the people who were. She said she made her son go to school with a dress to fight gender norms or some shit like that.
Oh yeah.
This dude was kind of going back and forth with me about why do I not feel like exploiting children is a valid tactic, and I basically told him, like, you know, it's something that I'm morally against, you know, using children for your own political gain, especially if it doesn't have a direct benefit on the child. It's like, that's kind of fucked up. And he was like, oh, well, that's disappointing. I was hoping you being an anti-SJW would give me something better than my feels. But I guess, you know, talking about your feelings in a situation is valid in this situation. And he was like upset with me because basically he said my reasoning was, it feels bad when you do it. And I'm like, no, that's not the reasoning. Like, what are you talking about?
What feels bad when you do it?
Well, like using children to push political, like, you know, using and exploiting children to push a political agenda. I'm like, it's a shitty thing to do. Therefore, I don't do it and don't condone it. And he was like, oh, so because of your arbitrary feelings, you're gonna claim that it's not, you know, a valid tactic to use when Martin Luther King did it and all these other people did it. And it worked for them. So how can you say that a tactic that has proven to work is not valid just because of your feelings? And I'm like,
well, beating the shit out of people works. It doesn't make it a valid way to deal with shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And I had asked him that question. I'm like, what the fuck is stopping you from doing all types of horrible things to people? And guess what this motherfucker told me?
What's that?
He said the golden rule. I'm like, so your feelings based on your logic. Are you fucking serious? That was a fun conversation.
Let's see. This one comes from Jack the motherfucking Cockring. Mom busts teen son in bed with middle school counselor.
Oh.
So it's a bit of a twist on the teacher fucking their student thing. A Texas middle school counselor turned herself into police after a student's mom allegedly caught her in bed with her teen son. Shannon Hathaway, who was employed at Harwood Junior High School, was booked on Thursday on charges for an improper relationship between an educator and a student. The Bedford Police Department issued a warrant for the 33-year-old counselor Wednesday due to her alleged relationship with a 9th grade 17-year-old.
Wait, 9th grade 17?
That is a held back dumb kid.
Wow.
About four or 5 years, I think.
She didn't even have the decency to fuck a smart minor. Like,
she fucked the idiot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Will she get jail time? Probably not.
No. Well, he's 17. How old is? I mean.
Oh, I don't know what the age of consent is in.
We should get a smack on the hand because it's probably
Texas. Yeah. Texas, you might be all right. Not in the case of like educator versus student, but maybe on statutory rape. I don't know. Depends on the law there. Okay, so I don't know if this is a deep topic or not, but I posted this one earlier because I thought this was kind of funny. Google has a hard time holding on to its black employees.
That was a good one.
Google's employee attrition rates are the highest for black and Hispanic employees. That's according to the company's annual diversity report released this week. For the first time, the report included data around employee attrition to gauge retention of certain cohorts of employees. According to the report, Google's difficulty in retaining black Google employees has offset some of its hiring gains and led to similar increases in representation than if it had been able to keep employees already at the company. Quote, attrition rates in 2017 were the highest for black Googlers, followed by Latin Googlers, and lowest for Asian Googlers. That's close to a racial slur, just so you know. Black Googler attrition rates, while improving in recent years, have offset some of our hiring gains, which has led to smaller increases in representation than we would have seen otherwise. Google's Black and Hispanic employees make up 2.5% and 3.6% of U.S. employees, according to the report. Of U.S. employees or their U.S. employees? That's
their U.S. employees.
I'm assuming there because CNN. Okay, that's minimal improvement compared to last year's report, which found Black employees make up 2.4% and Hispanics make up 3.5%. Representation in the tech roles is slightly up for Black employees, making up 1.5% of the 2017 workforce compared to 1.4% the year prior.
I'm just going to throw this out there. Maybe if you hired people based on their capability rather than the color of their skin, you wouldn't have them having to leave.
Well, the reasoning, he'll get to it in a moment.
Okay. Sorry.
It is, let's see, in an unusual move, Google employees recently partnered with investors to push a proposal at its parent company shareholder meeting, calling for the company to link executive pay to diversity and inclusion metrics. Oh, okay. Quote, it is our belief as investors, as engineers, and as technical professionals that a lack of executive leadership around sustainability, diversity, and inclusion fundamentally hurts the quality of products Alphabet can deliver to users. So you want the executives to operate on a quota system in order to get their pay.
Yes. That's what I just heard.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And this was a proposal pushed by, again, the employees recently partnered with investors to push a proposal.
That's fucking moronic is what that is.
The proposal put forth by investment firm Zevin Asset Management and backed by some current employees was predictably voted down. Well, that's good to hear. Let's see. Several employees have sued the company claiming discrimination, including a former engineer, Tim Chevalier, who filed a suit in February claiming retaliation, wrongful termination, and failure to prevent discrimination and harassment. The suit alleges some employees used the company's internal social networking and messaging systems to belittle and bully women, excuse me, people of color, and LGBTQ colleagues. At Google? The latest diversity report also marks the first report since James Damore's controversial diversity memo critiquing Google's diversity policies that was widely circulated last summer. Parts of the memo were condemned by CEO Sundar Pichai, such as claims that women aren't well represented in tech due to biological reasons. Damore and another former engineer sued Google in January for discrimination. Yeah, thank you, James Colley. In Texas, they will execute someone with an IQ of 80 and the age of consent is 17. Right. Good to know. But yeah, I just found that sort of a little bit schadenfreude, given Google's sort of like high-horsed rhetoric about all its efforts and its Black Googlers network and everything else that they've been talking about.
Did you
how this is going to affect the lawsuit of Damore? Because part of his is that white guys can't get ahead, and this is literally saying we don't want white guys.
That was already dismissed.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Scribe, did you see? I think there was a part. I don't know if it's the same one, but I think there was a part in there that said something about some of the Black workers were leaving because they said that the company doesn't have a clear and concise plan on what they plan on doing about diversity, and it made them feel unsafe in the workplace, so they had to leave.
What?
Yeah. I read something like that.
Yeah, here it is. Quote, the clear, and guys, just so you know, when I read articles, I don't necessarily read all of the article. I try to get to the salient points just to keep things moving. But yes, there's a quote here from, who is this person? Irene Knapp, a software engineer at Google. She said, quote, the lack of clear communicated policies and actions to advance diversity and inclusion with concrete accountability and leadership from senior executives has left many of us feeling unsafe and unable to do our work.
Bullshit.
That is the biggest pile of horse shit. Oh my God. Anyway, if you can't do your work because your company's not racist enough, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I really want to work, but they don't like white, or they still like white peoples.
They're not hiring on the basis of color enough. So yeah,
I thought that was hilarious.
Am I you know, I was laughing at that, but am I wrong in that interpretation?
No.
I don't feel safe here because my company is not racist enough in my favor or in the favor of my. Oh, for God's sakes. Why? Okay. Anyway, I might do a video on that story. I don't know. That one really ticks me off. Let's see. We got, let's get a couple more in before we get into the danger zone. Okay. This one also comes from Jack the motherfucking Cockring. Oh, Hollywood. CBS fires showrunners of Star Trek Discovery for abuse and budget issues.
That's a weird combination for showrunners.
Star Trek Discovery is, well, Discovery had such a crazy and chaotic production behind the scenes that the budget part doesn't surprise me. I'm not sure about the abuse part. I hadn't heard that one. Star Trek Discovery is about to go through another huge change-up, with CBS confirming that the current showrunners, Gretchen Berg and Aaron Harberts, are being replaced. Of course, these are the showrunners that replaced Brian Fuller during the final episodes of the first season of Star Trek Discovery. The ousted showrunners are being replaced by the series' current executive producer, Alex Kurtzman, who previously wrote the first two rebooted J.J. Abrams helmed Star Trek movies. They have a long public statement. Let's see. I don't really want to read all of that. Let's see if they go into more detail. The budget for the season 2 premiere reportedly ballooned past expectations, meaning that episodes 6 and beyond will likely suffer as a result. The show is taking a production hiatus while Alex Kurtzman regroups with the writing staff. Kurtzman had already taken the helm for the sci-fi drama season 2 premiere, directing the debut episode of the new season, which began production in April. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, I hadn't heard that Star Trek Discovery was all that great to begin with. From Star Trek fans. So CBS doesn't know how to handle their own property, apparently. Give it back to Fox or whatever.
Well, there was the whole isn't that the new one with the black chick from
The
Walking? Okay. Well, that's because that show was pretty much put out there the same way that everything else was. It was like a lot of people saw that she was starring and they like, oh, that's a little interesting. And then all the articles came out like black woman is, the main character in new Star Wars show. Trolls are upset. And they pretty much like did that show just how they do all the other ones. And people got pissed and they didn't watch it or they did. And they were like, yeah, it's not even good. So we had a reason to be upset.
Let's do one more, and this one comes from Massive Dynamics. Sounds like the plot line to a Law and Order episode, if I'm reading the headline correctly. Army Sergeant Emil Sillers, I think I'm saying that right, maybe, jailed for trying to kill his wife by tampering with her parachute.
Oh, yeah. That ain't cool.
An Army sergeant has been jailed for at least 18 years for tampering with his wife's parachute in an attempt to kill her. Emil Sillers, who has been struck off from the Royal Army Physical Training Corps, was convicted of 2 counts of attempted murder and a 3rd count of damaging a gas fitting, recklessly endangering life after a retrial at Winchester. What? The conviction came after Victoria Sillers, 42, an experienced parachuting instructor, suffered serious injuries when her main and reserve parachutes failed when she took part on a jump on April 5th, 2015 at the Army Parachute Association in Wiltshire. Handing Sillers a life sentence with a minimum term of 18 years on Friday, Mr. Justice Sweeney said, quote, this was wicked offending of extreme gravity. Was the judge trying to make a pun there? Because he sure did.
Sounds like.
He did a great job. That was great, Judge, even if it was bad grammar. He added, you're offending. Well, I guess offending is used in a different way in Britain, the way they're saying it. Your offending was extremely serious with your 2 attempts to murder your wife. 2 attempts. They were planned and carried out in cold blood for your own selfish purposes, which include financial gain. You should have to be a person of quite exceptional callousness who will stop at nothing to satisfy his own desires, material or otherwise, nor have you shown the least sign of remorse. 2 times. Does each parachute count as one? Oh, okay. The trial heard how Sillars had out-of-control debts racked up by taking his lover on expensive holidays, and that he first attempted to kill his wife by tampering with a gas valve at their home in 2015.
Wait.
Damn.
He then sabotaged his wife's parachutes and caused her to fall 4,000 feet to the ground after she discovered the gas leak. Did she survive?
I'm assuming so.
I guess so. Wow.
I don't understand how she's like. How do you stick around after that?
Well, like, maybe she didn't make the connection between the gas leak and it was intentional.
Well, I mean, after the first time he tried to kill her, like, wasn't that a?
Well, no, that's what I mean. Is that she might have discovered the gas leak, but just not figured out that it was an attempt to kill her, but that it didn't work. Obviously, she discovered it and dealt with it before it actually killed her. So,
holy shit!
Sounds like a great guy.
Yeah, I hope he rots. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for the stories. Really appreciate it. Without you, we'd have much less to talk about during the course of the show. So, deep topic time.
Didn't you undo YouTube?
Oh, whoops. Sorry. I completely spaced. And me, Mr. Format. God,
yeah, no doubt.
That up. Okay, YouTube time. Satsu, what have you been up to?
Uploaded the next videos in the series for the gaming channel. And I didn't upload anything on my main channel, but I do have an idea now that I've I kind of wanted to do the one that we just talked about that Scribe said he's going to do a video on. But if you're actually going to do a video on there, I'll do something else.
It'll be a little one if I do. So by all means, go whole hog on it. I'm not going to.
We should both do it.
We'll see.
No,
outside of that, we have a stream tonight. We're playing 7 Days to Die. And I'm not certain about tomorrow, like what tomorrow's going to be, because I know we said we were going to take a 7 days day away so we can try to play Ark, but I don't know if we're ready or set up for that yet. So I'll let you guys know when I know. But yeah, that's it.
Okay. Monkey, did you have a chance to work on your video today?
I did not today. I will try to have that finished up by tomorrow. That's what I told you guys yesterday. Probably Saturday. So yeah, I did not get any more done.
Okay.
Rough sleepless night. Sorry, guys.
7 days to fry.
Let's see. So I have written a first draft of a script for my next video. It's a pair of associated videos from a corporate consulting company, I'm assuming, who hold regular forums on engaging men, advancing women. And it's interesting. I've done lots of videos where you have like the chief diversity officer of a company, or like those panel of people talking, which is always interesting to see how companies try to spin their policies. But what's more telling sometimes is the people profiting off of that trend and how they frame the entire situation, because effectively they're trying to sell their services to corporations to facilitate this new trend in diversity and inclusion and gender equity and everything else. So you almost get kind of a much more distilled version of exactly what the direction the corporations are trying to take by listening to the consultants that they hire to help them. So anyway, I found this a little interesting, and it's 2 videos. They're both relatively short, smushed together. It's probably less than 6 minutes of actual footage, so to speak. But so it hopefully won't be a half-hour long video. I don't think I'll be talking for 25 minutes. But I have my ways. So, but yeah, I have the first script draft done. I'm gonna look at that again tomorrow after I've slept on it, revise it, and probably start working on that. Hopefully, have it out Sunday, maybe. We'll see. Other than that, yeah, that's all I had working on right now. So internet fuckatry, however you guys want to say it. I don't want you fighting over the pronunciation.
It's fuckatry. The only fuckatry I saw is I did go and watch some of Sargon's video. He was live streaming his Ark play. That's what him and Andy are having their fight over. And it seems like they're trying to have some fun with it, which is great. But yeah, that's all I really saw. Oh no. There's that bitch giving Blair White shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, I saw screen caps of it. I didn't read the details. I don't know what's going on with that.
Okay, what happened was Blair White had tweeted out that her childhood dog found its way into her parents' car or into a car and died. Oh. It overheated in the car and died.
Oh no.
Yeah, and this bitch tweets at Blair, well, that's what you've done to trans people, basically. She added a little bit. Yeah. You basically locked them in a car and killed them. To which Blair shot back a couple of times, one of which was simply, fuck you, cunt, which is my favorite tweet that she answered back. And this bitch is just losing her mind over it. It keeps doubling down on calling Blair a he and talking about how in the one post she told somebody that tweeting at them or mentioning them in a tweet without their permission is harassment. And online, if you think you're being harassed, then you are. So there is no such thing as a false flag. Yeah, the bitch has just lost her fucking mind.
Yeah, they were saying some crazy shit. I actually have, I think I retweeted some of them because they were fast. Yeah, some of them were fascinating.
They're weird, man. They're weird.
It was just, it didn't make any sense. Like I feel like from what I've seen that it might be a troll account, but a lot of people are like, nah, dude.
Not with that many followers, and that would be a pretty dedicated troll account. Doesn't she have like 300 followers or 120? So I forget how many.
I have to take a look
at it.
But basically, she's the statement that she said against Blair the first time was, "You did the equivalent of throwing other trans people into a hot car in a hot room to suffer and die. I'm really sorry for your loss, but karma paid you a visit."
Yeah.
And then when somebody was like, Blair is a nice person and blah blah blah, they were like, Blair only supports himself. That's right. I said himself. Say it with me. He is a him. There are only two genders. Blair is a man. And then they called somebody else transphobic.
Yes.
Earlier because they had said something about like, I hope all trans people can find happiness and don't have to deal with people like you. And they said nice transphobia, and they reported them for harassment because they said if you say things I don't like or on the internet, then it is harassment, which was really weird.
I think the person's crazy.
Yeah.
I think they wanted Blair's attention and didn't expect the hatred they were going to get from people who like Blair.
Yeah, this is what they said. No such thing as a false report on the internet. If I decide you're harassing me, you're guilty of harassment without recourse. Say something I or someone else doesn't like, that is harassment, period.
Yeah. Interesting interpretation of reality.
I was just like, oh, okay. You got a super chat, Monkey.
Oh, Monkey does?
Scribe does, but I already answered the question. But you go ahead and read the super chat.
Thank you, Mr. LM002. Hey, Monkey, what's the name of that alternative word type program you use instead of Microsoft Word? Could you type the name in the chat?
Yeah, I typed it in there. It's either Scrivener or Scrivener. I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
That's my Sith name, Darth Scrivener.
Sorry about that. I saw Hey Monkey, and my brain was just like, Monkey.
I was just kidding.
Jim says it's good for screenplays and such. It really is. It's good for writing, but I use it mostly like because I don't have when I open the program, I don't have to open a separate file every time for what I want. Whatever I worked on last is what comes up.
Uh-huh.
And it's not Microsoft, so I'm not paying monthly for it. Plus, I got it on sale. I got it on a really good sale. It's an expensive program, but I got it on a sale for like $15.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just use Open Office now because I don't want to pay for Office.
Jim, I finally read the first 4 pages you sent us. You're a dirty man.
Mm-hmm.
You're dirty, but I like it. If you guys haven't looked yet, you should look.
Oh, Blue Mamba?
Yeah.
Yeah, I plan on checking it out at some point. I just keep forgetting. Where did he send it to us at?
It was on Twitter.
Oh, okay. So I don't remember getting.
I can find it and send it to you.
Okay.
Any other fuckatry or fuckery or whatever?
Not that I've noticed.
Just people being stupid. Same old stuff.
All right. Well, now that I've somehow done the time warp again, deep topic time.
Are you sure this time?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know why my brain's just skipped over YouTube time. Just one of those days, I guess. It has been a long day. I was up at 4 o'clock this morning and have been awake all day, except for dozing slightly at work. Don't tell anybody. I was sitting at my desk and I was doing some very repetitive stuff, and I just kind of got, and not quite Satsu, but I was still kind of dozing a little bit. And fortunately, there was nobody around, so it was like, it's one of those things where you're just kind of like staring off into space, and suddenly your head drops, and then the dropping of your head wakes you up again.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of stuff. Yeah, that happened a couple times.
When I used to have to do the computer-based learning at Walmart, it did not matter how rested I was. That shit put me to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
I would have to stand up to keep from going to sleep in those things.
Let's see. So is there a deep topic on your minds, or shall I delve into the wonderful world of advice columns again?
No, I don't have anything deep tonight. I'm kind of shallow tonight.
Kind of shallow tonight.
Kind of shallow tonight.
Kind of shallow, not deep.
Not deep.
Yeah, this is my lazy new alternative to, in the absence of an actual deep topic. I thought that maybe the Google or statistics thing would be a deep topic, but kind of covered that. So let's see, what kind of advice column should I look up?
I don't know. Well, I didn't know there were different kinds.
I'm sure there's different kinds for like business and love and other things. I don't know. I just thought I'd to spice it up and change the randomness a bit. Let's look at romance. How's that? From Elle Magazine. Ask E. Jean for love, relationship, and dating advice.
Oh
boy, let's see. How about this? Okay. So, dear E. Jean, I think my house is intimidating the guys I meet.
What?
Okay. Is it Amityville? I bought it when I was 24. Frugal habits, along with a well-paying job, hard work, and a small inheritance helped me pull it off. It's not a mansion. I acquired a strong sense of design from my mother, and I put a lot of time into making it stylish and welcoming. Yet intuition tells me that it's putting guys off. They look around agape. They say things like, "Do you rent your furniture?" I have thought men would be overjoyed to find a woman with homemaking skills whose career is advanced enough that she can buy and decorate a house. But no, the men I date are in their late 20s. I'm 27 now, and I never get invited to their place after they see my house. Should I stop having them pick me up here?
Question.
Mm-hmm.
How does the date end?
We don't know, but that's
because if the date is ending with her putting out, I mean, it's a single date. That's self-explanatory, sweetie. You can't just give it away for free. I mean, you can, but they're not going to call you most of the time. They'll be like, "Yeah, that was fun, but next time."
I could kind of see, like, I mean, as you mentioned before, single bachelor guy eating TV dinners. If I went over to a potential date's house and she was living in relative terms, mansion, all well kept and all fancy and everything, compared to what I live in, I might think a couple of things. A, this lady's high maintenance and I can't afford her.
Mm-hmm.
And B, she is going to hate my place if we ever go back to it.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
What about, damn, she lives with her parents?
I don't. Let's assume for the sake of argument that there's no evidence when she takes them over to her house that she's living with anyone other than herself.
Well, I'm just going based on her age and what she said. Maybe they're thinking there's somebody else there, parent, roommate.
Nah.
Okay. As a man, I've never been intimidated by a woman, so I can't answer this based on that question.
Well, it's not intimidated by the woman; it's intimidated by what her house and home might say about her.
Yeah, so that wouldn't intimidate me.
Yeah, I would. My first thing would be I can't afford this woman. Would be one thing, is that her standards and her class exceed my ability to keep up, and that I wouldn't. She's beyond my star financially and let's see, proprietarily. Let's say.
Isn't that kind of sexist though? Maybe you're the one that's going to be supported.
No, I mean it's specific to the individual, because I'd go to her house and see that, you know, she has tastes and organization and style that are in direct conflict with my own. That might indicate that we might not be a match for any further romantic or relationship endeavors.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with being like she's a woman. It's got everything to do with, like, you know, the difference between somebody who looks like it's going to cost me $5,000 a month to just maintain the relationship with her versus less. And that's just me being a greedy bastard.
Yeah, because I mean, if her house is looking nice like that or whatever, I'm sure she ain't dining at McDonald's.
She'd go to McDonald's with me. She'd be like, "Oh, I love this McDonald's."
Yeah, right.
Dude,
let's see.
I'm a beast.
Oh, here's a good one. All right, so here's the situation in question. Recently, my friends and I flew to Vegas to celebrate my 23rd birthday. While we were drinking and dancing, I met a guy. We hit it off right away. I went back to his hotel, and one thing led to another. The next day, we hung out at the hotel pool, sipping cocktails, strolling, just talking about life. Everything felt so good. I really thought he was the one. That was your first mistake after a one-night stand. But anyway, the day after that, we made a plan to meet in LA. I dropped him off at the airport, and we both flew back to our respective homes. Me to Denver, him to LA. 24 hours later, I got a call on my cell. I didn't recognize the number, picked it up anyway, and it was his wife. She told me they'd been married 10 years and that they have 3 kids, ages 4, 2, and 6 months. I felt so guilty, but my gut told me to listen to his side of the story, so I called him. He said that their marriage was on the rocks. Of course he did. That he was sleeping in the basement and that he promised he was about to be separated. His confession brought us closer, and I immediately flew to LA. It was wonderful. Unfortunately, his wife found out and called me, furious, saying that I was still trying to see her husband. I was shocked. What? I told her I was sorry, but I was there for emotional support because they were splitting up. This made her even angrier because apparently he had told her he couldn't prevent me from trying to contact him. I see that makes what he's doing is wrong, but it doesn't stop me from wanting to be with him. He makes me happy. I make him happy. But he broke things off last Monday. He said he, quote, must put the family first, unquote. I hope they don't work out and we end up together. Is this wrong of me? I want to text him or call him. What do I do?
Wow.
A happy home wrecker.
Stay away from any rabbits that they might have. Crazy bitch.
Oh my God.
I have trouble believing women believe this shit. Dude, okay, if a guy, if you find out your fucking is married and he tells you, oh no, we're separating, do you women actually believe that shit? Because I've heard this so many times, and I just feel like women accept that lie because they want to, rather than them actually believing it. So here's what you do, sweetie. Leave him the fuck alone, and not because he's a married man with a family, but because he's a lying bastard and you're a dumb shit. That's bad. That's bad.
I mean, maybe they belong together.
That is a single mom waiting to happen right there.
Well, he's a lying bastard and she's a happy homewrecker. I say go for it and destroy your lives a second time.
Yeah, because I mean, like she knows that he's still with his wife and that what he's doing is wrong. So technically speaking, he could get with her, fuck around on her, and she's gonna be like, "Yeah, I know it's wrong, but it's cool. I still love him." And then there you go. Everybody wins. She's with somebody. He's fucking other bitches. It's a happy story for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, get the wife away from him so that she can find somebody that actually respects her and will take care of the family.
Guys, I see you. I'm sorry. I see you guys in chat talking about there being issues with chat, but I can read everything that I see. I see everybody asking if they're having problems.
My messages are vanishing.
Do you have it on live chat?
Let's see. I have it on top chat. Let me put it on live chat.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any messages.
Okay.
From,
well, here's the thing. I mean, if they're typing things in and they're suddenly not appearing in chat, we wouldn't know that they're not there.
Yeah, but if it was just disappearing for them, if they were on top chat and we had it on live chat, we could still see it.
Okay. Let's see. Let's do a couple more here. What's this one? Okay.
So, loading the second we send. Okay, there's nothing we can do about it, guys. It's a YouTube thing.
Yeah. Yeah, guys. Sorry. Speaking of which, let's see. Okay. Let's see. I'm a professor at a small liberal arts college. During a very tempestuous 4-year relationship with a scientist, I had sex with his colleague, and he retaliated by having sex with my best friend, so we broke up. Jesus Christ.
Wait, read that again?
Okay. I'm assuming that the speaker is a woman.
Okay, yeah, I'm just trying to keep track of the peoples here.
I'm a professor at a small liberal arts college. During a very tempestuous 4-year relationship with a scientist, I had sex with his colleague, and he retaliated by having sex with my best friend, so we broke up.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm with you now.
Okay. Only problem is he's now getting married, and we're still talking on the phone constantly and having sex. Jesus. We'll probably continue to have sex after he's married because my trouble is that I love him and I know he loves me. Do I call it quits or try to stop the wedding? Am I the right woman or the other woman?
You're the other woman, and it's not about love. You are a hole. You are a hole he gets to put his wiener in and squirt.
Oh my God. And like this is reading this and hearing this type of shit makes me really mad when I constantly hear people bashing on men about how fucked up they like is how one-sided it is. They're just like, men ain't shit. That's why I'm just like, everybody's fucked up. Like, we're all pieces of shit. Because when I hear stories like this, I'm just like, come on, dude.
Okay, and even though I usually wouldn't, I have to read the response from the author.
Oh boy.
Alas, you're neither the right woman nor the other woman. You're the sucker. If he loved you, you'd be the one he was cheating on.
Ding, 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 ding.
I detest having to be so blunt and giving you more pain, but this scientist needs his atoms split. Block his texts. Do not return his calls. Remove him from your social media. You don't want to be one of those women who never gets over the other woman. Jesus Christ.
Wow. If he loved you.
That's true. That's absolutely. If you were the one he loved, you would be the one he was marrying right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
You are a hole that he is using because you still let him.
All right.
Very convenient hole.
We'll do one more from this site before I move on.
Jesus Christ.
This is a
Make sure you bookmark this one, man. This is L.com or whatever. Yeah. I've been married for a year.
This is a woman, I'm assuming. I've been married for a year. I feel horrible saying this, but I'm not physically attracted to my husband. We've had an incredible relationship except for this one thing. He's by far the best man I've ever met. I truly appreciate and love him, but I want to lust after him a little bit. Is that bad? Unquote.
Goddamn people.
Figure that out before you get married. I don't have sex before marriage. I hate to tell you this. If you find out after the fact that you are not physically compatible, that there's no sexual chemistry between the two of you, you've done yourself a disservice. I went to a wedding a couple of years ago with a couple that had been together for 10 years, but the bride's best friend, who I was at one of the tables with after she had a couple of drinks, let me know that they had never had sex before. They were like religious. I think they were Christian Scientists or something. And to this point, they had never, ever slept together before, but they were like peas in a pod otherwise. And I thought to myself, I really hope their wedding night is the most amazing thing in their lives, because if it isn't, that's bad.
Yeah. Well, if they were both virgins, it's not going to be. It's going to be awkward and weird, and hopefully they can overcome that.
Yeah,
because you can still be, lust after each other and not have sex. That's the part that bothers me about this letter is there's no lust for him at all.
Right.
Guys, believe it or not, sex is an important part of any long-term romantic relationship. It just is.
Yeah, that's what. If you could, did you guys watch Chris Rock's most recent special on Netflix?
Oh no, I haven't seen it all.
No.
You should. Yeah, one of his bits was like, he was like, people always give me that bullshit where they say everything was great so far and then things fell apart, and he was like, that is complete and utter bullshit. He was like, y'all are having the exact same problems that y'all were having when y'all got together. The only difference is y'all stopped fucking.
Well, there's a problem with people. I knew this couple. They'd been together 10 years, and then they finally got married. Mm-hmm. And it almost fell apart immediately, because even though they'd been together for 10 years, living together for like 7 of that, once they got married, they thought each of them thought the other one was going to change. He liked to go out drinking. She was a homebody, and she thought once they got married, he'd stop going out drinking. And he thought she would start coming out with him. And oddly enough, it didn't work out. Marry somebody you like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, and I know people get caught up in that, like, oh, well, I feel that they are a super nice person, and that's all I need, and we'll work on the sex thing later. It's like,
you can't do that. I have a friend, and she may have wrote this letter, actually. No, they've been married a little bit longer than that, but she was telling me about how they met, and they'd actually been friends for a long time. And she one day just looked at him like, he's the one who's always here. And so they started dating. And she's already cheated on him at least once. Because she's not physically attracted to the guy.
Yep.
But she's still young enough to have, those urges.
Yeah.
And so what happens is somebody comes along who she is attracted to, and he gets to bone your wife. Good job.
So in a completely different tangent, I was looking around for other advice columns, and somehow I ended up on this, which isn't an advice column, but it's an article.
But before you read, I just want to say, Satsu,
what's that?
How lucky do you feel that you don't have to worry about that with Squishy?
You know what?
That woman's going to kill you.
That has never been a problem for me. Like I have been fortunate enough to where all the chicks that I've dated could pretty much probably be certified as like nymphos. Because like I said, once I really started getting into relationships, I'm like, hey, I'm going to be fucking all the time. I'm never going to say no. And like every chick I've been with, it's just like, God damn, bitch, do you ever stop?
Sorry, Scribbles.
This is the world's smallest violin playing just for you, Satsu.
No, I'm just saying.
A single tear runs down my cheek for your pain.
I didn't say it was an issue. I'm just saying.
That's all right. So speaking of tears, And again, this is just the magic of the internet. A couple of mouse clicks, and I end up here. I think we visited this site before. It's called Wear Your Voice Magazine. Its subheading is Intersectional Feminist Media. And the headline of this particular piece that caught my eye, How White Women's Tears Threaten Black Existence.
Oh, I think I've seen this a while back.
This was published May of this year. So this isn't a new article. I don't think I'd seen it before. Had we covered it previously, or you guys?
I don't think we covered it.
We didn't cover it, but I do remember seeing it.
I saw the headline.
Well, then, just for the sake of fun, I'll read a little bit of this before we get into chat time, because I'm curious as to what the theory is here, and it's not too long. White women are weaponizing their emotions and femininity to assert their power over BIPOC. I'm assuming POC means people of color. I'm not quite sure what the BI means. BIPOC.
Bisexual people of color? I don't know.
Maybe. This isn't new, but it is dangerous. If you've been paying attention to anything in the news lately, then you've seen the onslaught of headlines about racialized violence. Across the country, Black people are facing continuous waves. Does she work for CNN? Okay. Black people are facing a continuous waves of anti-Blackness at the hands of white folks calling the police on them simply for existing in public. While this may...
Oh, I did read this. Okay, yeah.
Did you? Okay, because I like I said, I think I may have seen the headline somewhere. I had never read it.
I don't think we read it on there, but yeah, I did read this article.
While this may read as a new way for white people to assume their racism onto Black people.
Assert.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, God. It actually isn't anything new at all. Hashtag existing while Black illustrates the history of anti-Blackness that reigns throughout U.S. history. My brain. And reminds us of the ways that white people, and particularly white women, are evolving their white fragility to keep anti-Black racism thriving. Evolving their white fragility. Okay. To call the police on Black people, no matter the reasoning, is violent in and of itself simply because the act cannot be separated from historical context. No matter the reason.
So if a Black guy's stealing my car, I can't call the police because that would be just like
slavery.
Yeah, that's fucking retarded.
Yeah, the reason that I don't think we ended up covering it is because after I read that line, I was just like, nope.
Yeah, but I got 7 minutes to kill, so what the hell? In the last decade alone, we've seen how police brutality has led to the murders of Black people across all genders and ages throughout the country. We've seen the documentation of how systemic and systematic anti-Blackness is and how it permeates Black communities at all economic levels. Most recently, in Oakland, California, a white woman called the police on a Black family having a cookout in a public park because they weren't in a, quote, grilling-approved section of the park. A Starbucks store manager in Philadelphia called the police on 2 Black men waiting for a friend. A mother and daughter in Brooklyn were accused of shoplifting at a vintage store in Williamsburg, where they were also handcuffed and searched by police. A group of Black filmmakers, including Bob Marley's granddaughter, had the police were called on her.
Yeah. This is a good writer.
Had the police were called on her and a group of fellow Black filmmakers checking out of an Airbnb because she didn't smile to a white neighbor who claimed that they were robbers. Okay. A Yale student called campus police on another Yale grad student for napping in her common room. The list goes on, but these seemingly random instances reinforce the assertion of dominance white people...
Time out. Time out. The list doesn't go on and on. You just named literally all the ones that have been in the news.
Yep.
Literally everyone that's made the news. Fuck off. Anyway, I'm sorry. Now you can continue.
And she, at least this time she used assertion and not assumption or something. Reinforced the assertion of dominance that white people are fighting to keep hold of over black people. Beginning long before Carolyn Bryant falsely accused Emmett Till of flirting with her. Emmett Till? You're going back to Emmett Till.
Mm-hmm.
The danger of this trend reflects the assertion, you like using that phrase, the assertion of dominance that white people want to have over black people. There is a mirroring of the Jim Crow laws that would lead to the death of black folks simply for failing to respond or respond in a way that white people believed you should. What we're seeing now in this recent wave of racialized acts of violence, yes, acts of violence. We're redefining acts of violence to, I called someone because it was suspicious that there was someone in a house that didn't belong to them. Is an attempt to continue policing black people moving through public spaces. Because under white supremacy, the last thing that should exist are black people capable of living their lives freely from white people. It's, oh God, okay, I'm reading it as it's written. It apostrophe S should be especially noted that white women are leading as the culprits behind many of these incidents. Ah,
y'all white women need to get your shit together.
I'm going to have an aneurysm. This, oh God, get an editor or just, Jesus Christ. White women are weaponizing their positions as both white people and women, and this is nothing new. It is simply a different iteration of the same manipulation tactics we've seen for decades. Thinking specifically of the woman in Oakland who burst into tears when police arrived and gave a false account about the family she bothered, reminds me of the social construct of assuming that white women are always fragile and how they use that to harm and silence BIPOC with their tears. I thought white women have to be fragile because of white fragility.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm missing something. Yet white folks remain embarrassingly obtuse to this simply because the status quo gives them the false notion that whiteness is superior. This is why I'm in the NBA, by the way. There is no separating the history of police brutality and racialized trauma within the black community from the present. For a white person to willingly participate in this, or to simply see these instances as unrelated and an exaggeration, is to further gaslight and belittle the very real pain and violence that we have to deal with every day. That sounds like a foreign tongue or something. That we have to deal with every day. So simply put, white folks, stop calling the police on us.
Okay, again, the lady in Oakland,
yes,
wasn't wrong. They were in the wrong spot, and I tell you, now I don't know her, but I've known white women who call the police on me for stupid shit that I wasn't doing wrong.
She was a busybody,
yes,
but she wasn't wrong. Yeah, nosy busybody, but she wasn't wrong. And the lady that called Airbnb, she knows the people that lived in the house. She didn't know it had been rented out to people, and she saw people coming out of the house carrying briefcases and bags and shit, and she didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you have a neighborhood watch? To see if you see something suspicious, you call. The cops showed up. They cleared it up. Nothing happened. The end. For fuck's sake. And of course, this never happens when it involves a white person, except that it does, but it doesn't make the papers because who cares about white people being mistaken for something or whatever.
Yeah, it's just fucking retarded. Because maybe black people are just realizing this about some white people. Some white people are fucking busybodies. I judge death, monkey staring longer than 5 seconds, call the cops. Netflix.
Not Netflix.
I grew up with people like this. Our neighbors were the fucking nosiest people on the fucking planet, and they would tell my parents everything I did when my parents weren't home. And it wasn't because I was black. I am decidedly not. It's just she had nothing better to do with her time.
Yeah. It is something that is common amongst humans. It is not skin specific. And I think in one of those instances, I mean, if we want to get really technical for the sake of it, I forget which one it was, but it was a Hispanic woman in one instance and not a white person. It was just, not that it matters anyway. Why the fuck do I care? I don't. Anyway.
Well, anybody darker than mocha is white now.
Yeah. Okay.
You can thank George Zimmerman for that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Anyway, guys, we are at the bottom of the hour, which means the rest of the show is your time. If you have questions, comments, conspiracy theories, complaints, if you want advice from 3 advice givers like we are, by all means, put those in the chat now. If you have questions for us directly, please put plenty of question marks after it so we know it's for us and not part of a conversation taking place in chat. So while we wait for the things to catch up, anything, let's see, now you guys are within a few minutes after this show, you will be 7 days to dying.
Yes.
Okay. Over on 2 cents
plus, yo.
Are you guys still planning on ordering Fallout 76?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
When you pre-ordered it, did you have to get you had to pay it in full?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta wait then.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I hear is that the beta will be open to Xbox One users first, and then at some point thereafter, PC users will have access. They haven't said, to my knowledge at this point, maybe something's happened in the last 48 hours, what the time interval between Xbox One and PC will be. Also, so far as I have heard and read, Fallout 76 will not be available on Steam. This is sold separately or something, so you can't buy it on Steam. I don't know if that's going to change. I've also heard that at some point, and I don't know how this is going to work, mods will be available for Fallout 76, but not right away. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work unless you're like running your own private server, which maybe you'll have the opportunity to do. I don't know.
Well, they got mods for Ark, and Ark is like a,
Okay. I don't know how it works. This is me not knowing like super duper multiplayer game capabilities. Okay, moving up. Ryan Rawlings says, Satsu, will you collapse your base again tonight?
I did that one time, man.
Twice.
Once, twice, 3 times a base builder. Jenna P says, most people think my dad is black. He is just very Italian.
Yeah, Italian people can be very dark.
Yeah. Snubberth says, Ranting Monkey, you hear about the people trying to remove the B from LGBTQ. Yes, I read that today, where the B verifies bisexuality, therefore there are only 2 genders. So we have to remove the B because there aren't just 2 genders.
Well, apparently I'm hearing that's a 4chan creation.
I hope that's
sure
true.
It is, but
I hope that's true.
It's the kind of stuff that they should have thought about, because, I mean, if you're being logical, if you can be bisexual, then yeah, there's 2 sexes.
Jack Gunsky says, I think I'm going to skip out early. Good night, everybody. Bye, Jack.
See you, Jack.
Later.
Stargazer Nut says, you should start your own funny advice column for the chat. I would want to start taking responsibility for giving people wisdom.
I'll give you advice.
There you go. Monkey will do that. You should. Monkey actually tweet Monkey advice type questions, and he will make a video just responding to them without having to actually do a whole lot of heavy lifting.
Don't promise that.
Okay.
We don't know when that would be. You're going to make people mad at me.
Emily Fultz says, Scribe, did you hear about the black activists calling for the burning of a painting of Emmett Till because the artist was white?
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, not surprised, still dumbfounded. And the burning of the Whitney Houston Museum for showing it.
Wow.
I hadn't heard that one. Burning a piece of art or destroying it, I've heard from several different directions over several different things over the course of my life. actual arson of a museum over something like that, that's zealotry right there. Let's see. Monkey, will you break your leg again? Asks Captain Brambles.
I haven't broke my leg in a while. You should come watch. You'd know that.
Incel Casanova asks, did Star Wars add Rose because they were afraid blacks would lose their shit if they put Finn and Rey in a relationship?
No. They're trying to make Rey a Luke Skywalker character. And if you notice, Skywalker never had a love interest.
Yeah, until Mara Jade, which happened in the books, of course. But no, they want to make her a strong, independent woman that don't need no man. If they have a love interest in any way, shape, or form, then that is a weakness of that.
It will receive heavy criticism.
Yes. And not because of the races, although I'm sure there are people that will make that point too. But in general terms, the hero's journey is almost always a solitary one. They may have brief encounters with people along the way, but they almost never get involved when it comes to epic stories like that.
I saw Shoe on Head's new video, and I found out that there's a such thing as a political lesbian, which I didn't know was a thing.
Is a political lesbian?
Well, political lesbians apparently believe that you are not born gay or born with a sexual affiliation. Homosexuality is a choice that women make at some point in time in their lives, and they make a push to get women to dismiss homosexuality and throw it away completely because they said choosing to have sex with the enemy is just stupid and it doesn't make any sense at all.
Choosing to have sex with the enemy, that sounds like something Andrea Dworkin would have said back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
I think so many women are okay with lesbianism because they can smell themselves all the time. Mm-hmm. And so they just develop a scent for twat. Hey, Squish.
Okay. Hi, Squishy.
Yeah.
Aaron Medley says, Scribe, they confirmed you will need your own server for mods, but they're not fully sure how mods will be with multiple people. Okay. Well, maybe we should just set up our own server so we can like have a persistent daily bob or something. We'll see. I since I've never really done this kind of online gaming before, this particular brand, I'm almost kind of willing to go whole hog on it, depending on what the requirements are. We'll see.
Real quick, Flair asked, did you see the next die-in might be at Disney World or Disneyland? Yeah, I did.
Can't wait.
That's fucking retarded.
Does that mean that Disney's going to get all their ticket money before they walk in and lay down?
I don't know.
Most likely. And what's probably going to happen too is the hidden Disney World Secret Service are going to come and swipe their asses up.
I hope little kids kick them in the face.
I knew someone who used to work at Disneyland like years and years ago, and and this is just a weird anecdote, but he told me that he was on the night crew, the guys that actually had to do all the maintenance and stuff in between openings, and they had a game where someone would say they'd have like a scavenger hunt, and they'd say something like, "You have to go to Mickey's Magic Shop." The problem is that Mickey's Magic Shop had been replaced by something else like 20 years prior. So you had to know the history of the park down to that kind of detail in order to succeed at the scavenger hunt. And that was part of the way they not only taught the employees like how to know stuff in history of the park and everything else, but also to completely fuck them over with the scavenger hunt, where at the end was like some $100 gift certificate somewhere or whatever.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was kind of interesting. Let's see. Jaster Muriel says, we need Elder Scrolls 6 now, though it'll be a 15-year gap between the last one and Elder Scrolls 6. I imagine we'll see Elder Scrolls 6 by 2021. That's my guess.
I'm guessing holiday 2020.
Holiday 2020? Okay. Thank you, Diesel Dave. Satsu Stash is better than Acorns. Satsu Stash.
Oh, Ebony, I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot about that. Ebony Williams says, did you guys hear that, or what Kathy Griffin said about Kevin Hart? Yes, I did.
No, what'd she say?
No, I didn't.
She said Kevin Hart's a pussy.
No.
that if you want pussy comedy, go watch him because he doesn't make any jokes about Trump. That's what the bitch said. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, very little bit, but yeah.
She said that Kevin Hart's a pussy because Trump's dick isn't in his mouth as much as it's in hers.
Basically, yes.
Oh, okay. She's like, you don't suck the dick like a real comedian. I do all the time.
Thank you, Peter Hades. Sorry if you've been asked this already, Scribe. Why don't you play 7 Days to Die, etc. with Monkey and Satsu, and a book called Pray the Les Away for my ad? Oh, wait, never mind. Har, har. Well, the reason I don't play 7 Days to Die right now is because Satsu and Monkey play when I start going to sleep, because I have to work early in the morning. When 76 comes out, I'm hoping to work with Monkey and Satsu to find a night or two out of the week or something, or I'm going to just have to muscle through the time, or maybe do something before the stream if it works for them. We'll figure that out. We got a couple of months to hash that out, because unfortunately my work schedule is rigid, for lack of a better word, and so I have to be up at a very specific time every morning to get to work at a very specific time every morning. So that's why I'm out of here almost immediately after the stream's over with, because my body starts shutting down about an hour and a half afterwards. Let's see. Captain Bramble says, Scribe, like my friend worked there and showed the employee handbook. It's disturbing. With the Disneyland employee, I can only imagine the other stuff that employees at Disneyland have to keep in mind or do, depending on what part of the park they work at. Midnight in Exile says, Kevin Hart told her to go fuck herself in the most pro way possible, and there's nothing she can do about it. Good.
I want to see. What did he say?
Well, last I saw, he hadn't. There was an article that had quoted what he said after her head thing, and I forget what he said, but yeah. Kevin Hart listening to Kathy Griffin for comedy advice would be moronic. He's like, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, he's like the highest paid comedian in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she's like barely got a show on Bravo once in a while. Shut up, bitch. There's a reason most good comedians aren't talking about Trump. It's because he's a joke, and making a joke about a joke is not funny.
Emily Foltz asks, for each of you, what is the weirdest sex position you've ever done? The weirdest.
The
weirdest.
I don't do weird sex positions. I mean,
when
we were young, we tried some, but I can't remember that.
I guess the only thing that comes to mind, I don't know if it's weird, but maybe it's uncommon. I don't know. I don't watch, except for porn, I don't watch most people having sex. One time I did 69 with a girl, but I was on top, if that makes sense. And that was that. I guess that's the only. If that's weird, I don't know if it is or not. But
my wife and our legs are the same size, so it allows us to do things that other people can't. We can have sex standing up with both of our legs together.
Nice.
That one's always fun. I don't know how weird it is.
Yeah. Satsu, with your multiple nymphomaniacs.
I'm trying to think.
Squishy's in chat. What's the weirdest thing y'all done, Squish?
Yeah.
She'll tell you too.
I know she will. That's why I asked her.
Keep your mouth shut, Squishy.
Let's see. Satsu, are you going to let Squishtron do the stream intro again tonight? Oh.
No, I'm not making that mistake again. That was a bad decision, and I learned from my mistakes.
You know, they're still talking about Kathy and Kevin in chat here. I don't know if you guys have seen Kathy recently, Kathy Griffin.
Not since the holding up the headless Trump thing or the bodiless Trump deal.
You mean unemployed can't get a job? Please fucking hire me, Kathy Griffin.
That bitch has aged like 60 years since that photo. I'm not kidding.
I remember when can't remember the last time it was. It was years ago now, but I remember it was just a couple of years ago when she was on one of the New Year's Eve deals with what's his butt from CNN, Anderson Cooper. Yeah, and I thought because I remember Kathy Griffin from TV shows way back when and all that, and at the time I thought, wow, she's actually held up pretty well. I got to assume she's like relatively old, but yeah, it's like night and day as compared to then.
Yeah, you take a look at her, the picture that accompanied the article about Kevin Hart, man. She looks rough. You got a super chat there.
Yeah, no. Thank you, Incel Casanova. Happy Father's Day, a.k.a. Motherfucker's Day, a.k.a. Vaginally Deficient Parent Day.
You forgot Baby's Daddy's Day.
Baby Daddy Day.
You also forgot that we need to get rid of Father's Day because it's sexist.
And not inclusive.
Yeah, it's not inclusive.
There's something, was it Britain or something where somebody proposed that they just do away with Father's Day?
Yes.
I think it was. And it's like, okay, well, how about doing away with Mother's Day then too? How about just Parents' Day? Whittle it down to one day out of the year for it's just Parents' Day.
I'm like, how come I missed this announcement on Mother's Day? It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
How about just leave Mother's and Father's Day alone? And if you got two daddies, you celebrate twice on Father's Day. If you got two mommies, you celebrate twice on Mother's Day. There you go. Or pick one of them and assign it each day. Yeah. Just you don't have to change everything because a handful of people exist. Fuck off.
If you get rid of Father's Day, imagine all of the female greeting card writers you'll be putting out of work once the market drops.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2 days out of the year where everybody is morally obligated to buy gifts for their parents, either flowers for mom or tools for dad or something. That's not Christmas. Yeah, it's good for the economy, everyone.
Stressful age you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you, Cryptic. Did you hear what Kim Jong-un saw when he and Trump left Singapore? He didn't see anything over the horizon. Is that a short joke?
I think it might be a short joke.
I'm not quite sure. Okay. Thank you, Cryptic. Whatever it is, I'm sure it's Asian specific, and everyone Cryptic is Asian, so you can tell those kind of jokes.
Did you guys see the picture of Trump and Un standing there? And it says above it, when there's only two people left to pick in gym class.
Cryptic says
it was fucking beautiful.
Cryptic says it was a slanted eye joke. Oh,
gotcha.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Jaster says you need the Fallout anthology. Comes with 1 through 3 tactics, New Vegas, and a mini nuke package. I've already got all the Fallout games in a pack on Steam years ago for like $10, so I've got everything. Yeah, I'm fine for Fallout. Let's see. RJ Bansma says, "What's the best insult towards Kathy Griffin? Unemployment."
Life. Have you seen what it's done to her?
She looks like a shoe.
She so desperately wanted to be Joan Rivers, and
oh god,
she couldn't even pull that off.
What a thing to aspire to.
I know, right?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't mind Joan Rivers, but still. Oh, Irate Bear's in the chat.
Hey, Bear, why aren't you sleeping, man?
Yeah, go to sleep. Satsu talking about me and his 7 days streams, cheeky fucker, says Irate Bear.
What happened?
Well, in the, I think it was episode 26, maybe it was 25. There's a moment where somebody got was it an auger blade? I can't remember, but it was a level 18.
Oh.
And you told them that if Irate Bear was here, he would think he had 18 of those. And that's because when we first played with Irate Bear, he got some weapon and it was a level 12 or something, and he thought he had 12 of them.
Yeah.
It's an easy mistake to make when you first start playing. I did the same thing. I just didn't do it publicly.
Dude, I forgot I even said that shit.
Yeah.
Hey, Bear, let me know if a Tuesday or Friday next week would be good for you to come on the show, because we haven't had you on in a while. Should have you on.
Yeah, man.
Let's see. Irate Bear says, yeah, I played a lot more since then. Okay, so he's got experience.
Well, that was the great thing about me getting to play offline so much when I started, is nobody saw the dumb mistakes I made. But I'm happy to laugh at the ones people do publicly.
Winston Churchill, of all people, asks to have affirmed that you guys are playing a game after the stream. Yes, they are. They're playing 7 Days to Die over on 2 cents plus sometime within 15 minutes or so after the stream ends.
Does Winston actually? Because I don't. Are you a lurker? Do you come over there and you be lurking? Because I see you ask all the time, but I don't see your name pop up in the chat ever.
Okay. And for the record, we do it every night except Tuesdays and Thursdays.
We stream every night except Tuesdays and Thursdays, not 7 Days to Die. But
Irie Bear says, "Sure, I'd love to come back on. Probably Friday. Y'all play too fucking late." Yeah, well, that's what we're gonna have to figure out if we do 76. But okay, I will. I'll try to hit you up next Friday and see if you can pop in. RJ Bansman says, "Isn't Kathy Griffin related to Peter Griffin?" No, then she might actually be funny.
Yeah, shit.
Ryan Rawlings says, having Arlie Ernie sign that game CDs made him chuckle and say, "You've got to be kidding me. You knew this was me. Good on you." What?
What CD?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Ryan. Maybe there was a message earlier I missed. Jenna P says, "Guys, do you ever see the conversation in chat and want to add your opinions? Do you think chat would mind? Some of the conversations are very interesting, and do you want to give your thoughts?" Well, speaking for myself, I'm reading articles and stuff for the better part of the first 3/4 of the show that I try when I can to keep an eye on chat in case something pops up that catches my eye. But most of the times I have other tabs open. So that's me.
Oh, he said Ryan's talking about his copy of Fallout Tactics.
Oh,
cool.
Okay.
I try to glance at the chat, but I don't want to get involved in the conversations because it is hard enough to pay attention to what we're doing when like a super chat pops up. Suddenly, there's something else we concentrate on, and it's excuse me, don't get me wrong, guys, it's great, but when you're here trying to keep the conversation flowing, anything that throws that off is it makes it hard to get back on track. Mm-hmm. And when you see a good argument going on in the chat, it says I can't get involved in that right now.
Yeah. Somebody else asked something. What was it? Oh, have I ever played Horizon Zero Dawn? Yes, I played that entire game on my channel. So if you want to, I think it's still up. I streamed that entire game from beginning to finish. People are still yelling at me because I didn't I like 100% complete it. But I'm not a completionist. So
Irie Bear says, "If you guys played on the 7-day server at a reasonable time, us Brits could join as well." Could like they play on it? I don't know how this works. They play on it one part of the day and you guys play on it on the other or something, or is that not how it works?
They could, but anytime somebody's on the server, it advances the game time, so it wouldn't
I see.
advance at the same rate.
Monkey, I did think of moving the gaming streams before Lords of the Night, so that way we can stay more strictly to our like 2-hour limit that we were trying to set. But I was going to talk to the chat about it and stuff too, just to see, because I
wouldn't have a problem with that. That'd be fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, but like a lot of people was like, this time is perfect because of X, Y, and Z. So we'll see. We'll talk about that.
Captain Brambles asked if I'm still riding my bike. I haven't this week. I've had a very, very rough week, but I am still doing it. Yeah.
Rich at Art says, "Do you like tapes and CDs? How about I tape this dick on your forehead so you can CD nuts?" Oh God.
He got you to read that all out. That's the best part of that.
Yeah. Somebody fucking soundbite that. I need that in my archive.
Jenna says, "That's understandable. I was just curious about your opinion." We don't, like I said, it's hard to have this conversation and try to have a second one at the same time.
Yeah, and by the time that we've noticed something going on, we've probably missed half of it and wouldn't have enough context anyway.
Yeah.
It's gratifying that you guys are so engaged in the chat, sort of as a secondary thing. And of course, now that YouTube is archiving the chats as well, anybody watching this has two different things to keep them entertained or at least engaged, is because whatever's going on in the chat and whatever we're talking about, it's all cool.
Oh my God. Freedom Noodle said I should play Dark Souls. Dude, I have beat every single Dark Souls, including Demon Souls and Bloodborne. Like, I just can't go back, man. Plus, I streamed Dark Souls 3, and you can ask the chat how that went.
Eric Beer says I'll have to see how much a server costs. How much does a server cost?
Well, I just put in the chat for mine. 16 people cost $16.
Is it a month? No, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
Data Wasteland says, remember everyone, we are trying to get 2 cents plus to 1,000 subs and are very close. Please subscribe. Yes. If you like Monkey and Satsu running around fighting zombies, or just want to support Satsu's endeavors, after the stream, go find 2 cents plus and subscribe.
Yeah, we broke 900 recently, man. We really need to get it to 1,000.
I figured out what we're doing wrong. I was watching a gaming stream today, and it was 2 people, very much like you and I do. The one guy was showing his screen, and the other guy was just playing along. I'm like, hey, this is like us. The difference is they both scream like fucking banshees all the damn time. Literally to the point where they're peaking their mic. And if you guys don't know what that means, or they're peaking their volume, it's where it goes up really loud and it fucking hurts your ears.
Oh,
yeah. But this dude had like 156,000 subscribers. So what I think we need to do tonight,
oh god,
no matter what's going on, we need to talk like this.
I don't know if that will work out.
Dude, I'm telling you.
What you need to do is you have to have a soundboard, so that every time like a zombie shows up, you hit the little thing and it has one of those sounds from these neo horror movies. It's like ching 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 ching. You know, like the horror movie jump scare kind of deal.
Or when we die, it does the Wilhelm scream. There
you go. Exactly. Yeah, you gotta add some pizzazz to it. I think then you'll get some more attention. Let's see. RJ Bansma, how many SJWs are there on Earth? Isn't that a lot of stupid people on the planet? You don't have to be a social justice warrior to be a stupid person.
That is also true. There's way too many SJWs, and Scribe's right. There's way more stupid people than just SJWs.
But here's the thing. Everybody is stupid about something. Nobody's infallible to everything.
That's not true. I'm perfect. Winston Churchill says, want to hear something cool? The winner of the Ontario election last week, Doug Ford, followed me on Twitter.
Is that the same Ford family of like the guy who was smoking crack and died and all that? Just curious. Your boy Pat says, I'll oil up the body and the subs will be in no time.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Yeah, your boy Pat becomes like a cam girl for your zombie streams. You just have a little like a little window up in the corner of him just standing there all glistening.
I don't know why you don't do that, man. Dude, make a Twitch account, buy a couple gallons of oil, and start playing any game. It don't matter what it is, and start using a camera.
Yeah, dude, white girls be all over that shit.
Oh, actually, you need to oil yourself up and do games using the power pad or Dance Dance Revolution.
Oh my god.
Let's see. Doug Ford is Rob's brother. I thought so. I forgot Rob as his name anyway. They're brothers. Well, given the family history, I'm actually really surprised that he was elected. But hey, if that's what they want, that's what the people get.
Incel Casanova asked if Worski lost another co-host. I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to what's going on over there except for the Ark thing, which I only found because I've started playing Ark and was looking up videos and it happened to pop up.
Did you oh, go ahead.
No good.
Oh, did you hear what happened to Andy when he went to fight Sargon in this server?
Oh, that he got captured?
Yeah, like 10 minutes. They fucking killed him, knocked him out, put him in a cage, and now he's stuck. He's like, well, that was fast.
Well, Sargon's whoever runs their server actually changed locations of the server, so everything got reset, and Andy was apparently mad about that today. So his capture's been undone.
Well, I told him, I'm like, both of y'all suck, and we'll destroy all of you. And I told him that me and Monkey are building an army right now to kill whoever it is that thinks that they're better than us.
You told Andy that?
Yeah, and he said, you want to go? And I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So,
bitch, I've got like 8 hours in. I'm pretty sure I could take Andy.
It's all right.
Well, guys, with the update on the Ark Wars, and other such things. We're at the top of the hour just about, so we're going to wrap her up. Chat, again, as always, thank you so much for joining us. You are the best audience on YouTube, if not the internet as a whole. And that's whole with a W, not whole without. Let's see. So again, after the stream, go check out 2 Cents Plus, starring Satsu and Monkey, doing 7 Days to Die. And be sure to subscribe if you have not already to help Satsu get to that 1,000 subscriber magic number.
$1,000 too.
My brain's starting to fall asleep now after the day I've had. Tomorrow night, as per usual, will be on Monkey's channel. So join us then too. Other than that, Monkey, Satsu, thank you for joining me. Everyone, your lives make us sad, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.